tonight. Syracuse leads the ACC in forcing turnovers. And in fact, they have the top 2 steal artists in the league in Malik Brown and Judah Mintz. We are underway. Clemson controls the tip. Our officials tonight, Bill Covington, Pat Driscoll, and Brian O'Connell. A veteran crew here in Hall on senior night. And there's going to be a little bit of nerves for PJ. I'm not sure that's the reason for that, but there are a lot of emotions given his background in this state. 2-time state champion as a high school player, investing 4 years here, one of the most beloved stars and accomplished ones in Clemson basketball history. And that was one of the things Brad Brownell talked about, was settling down early with the emotions of the senior night ceremonies just completed a few moments ago. Strong move off from J.J. Starling, transfer from Notre Dame. He's been playing great, Sean.
Well, as I walked into the arena tonight, P.J. Hall was talking to one of the guys at the scorer's table, shook his hand, said, "One last time I get to shake your hand." There's an emotional factor of it. We see it across college basketball this time of year. How you can exhale and take that breath, really important on senior night.
Not just Hall, but Chase Hunter, who just missed that 3, also playing his final game here. We mentioned Starling's been playing well, and he gets the scoring started with a 3-ball for the Orange.
Big part of why Syracuse has been charging down the stretch of ACC play is not just Judah Mintz. I mean, Judah Mintz is the headliner, but Starling has been sensational.
Also playing his final game in Little John is the man with the ball who just bounced past it inside, Joseph Girard, the former Syracuse star, and Ian Schieffelin has a chance for a 3-point play.
Just pin and seal, angle scorer on the block, right? I mean, he just plants himself down there like he's in the over 40 league and says, "Give me the ball. Yep, you're going to bounce off my shoulder. I'm good with that. I'm going to be able to finish through." And that's where I think Clemson has got to continue to go early and often. Play through Hall, play through Schieffelin, get them on the block, and then cut and move off of them. If you're going to shoot threes off of the ball, getting at least a post entry and give yourself a chance.
3 from the perimeter and 1 on the other end, tied at 3 in the early going. Here's Judah Mintz, really adept at getting it inside. How about Mintz getting Hunter out of the way, but couldn't get it to fall. Here comes Girard, going past his old teammate, now finding P.J. Hall.
Great job by Hall to shape up on the drive, have his feet set parallel to the driver, so when he caught it, it was a simple move straight up. Back-to-back possessions, Clemson got the ball exactly where they wanted to be, in the paint.
The stark difference, too, from Saturday against Notre Dame, when they were just 5 of 28 from beyond the arc, and almost half of their shots coming from 3, which is not typically the way Clemson operates. The way Syracuse has operated has been in large part because of the great play of Malik Brown, who gets a bucket there.
Screens and dives every single time. Great hands, catches, keeps the ball high.
Here's Hall for 3.
Nerves are gone, by the way, Reese. You throw the ball out of bounds on the first possession. Yeah, no worries. Go ahead and get 5 points quick.
He was just 2 of 10 from beyond the arc against Notre Dame, so off to a good start here. Judah almost turns it over, kept those feet planted when he threw it to himself, so no travel. This is one of the most exciting players to watch on the drive in all of college basketball, and Mintz. Roll-up shot, Chris Bell, who has just been torrid from deep over his last 8 games. This is from inside the arc there. Here's Jack Clark, another senior transfer from North Carolina State. Girard. Schieffelin, an offensive rebound. Hall will now lob it to Schieffelin, and a good defensive play for a moment by Justin Taylor, but Schieffelin recovers. Now Hunter has it in the corner. The flyby, and Hall's left alone. He'll shot fake, get into the lane, and score.
Composure and poise on that possession. Multiple ball reversals. The ball got a piece of the paint multiple times, and then that allowed on the closeout a little shot fake and drive for Hall. Good start for Clemson.
Getting Hall started with 7 quick points. Jack Clark picked up that foul. There is Brad Brownell, the Tiger coach, in his 14th season here, another 20-win season already, trying to get that double bye in the ACC tournament, improve the NCAA tournament seed. Here's Mintz with that little sideways three.
You take that all day long if you're Clemson. What you can't afford him to do is allow Mintz to get a piece of the paint. You force him into more of those shots, even if he hits a couple, you're gonna tip your cap and say at the end of the night, hey, great job. Out of character for a guy that shoots sub 30% from beyond the arc.
Clemson's made 4 of its last 5. Kick back from Girard. There's Hall again for 3.
Have yourself a night, kid.
Into double figures already, and Clemson has jumped out to an 8-point lead. One of the things that Red Autry told us that he's been most impressed with his Syracuse team is they get down, they lose a game, they fight back. And found themselves in an early hole here. Another miss, rebound by Clark. Hunter on the break. Girard. Bucket.
Need a timeout.
You love pizza just as much as we love pizza.
He reached the 2,000-point mark precisely against Syracuse from the free throw line. Needed 18, got 18 in that win. What a move by Mintz to put in the bucket. And then to come back here and play your final home game as a college basketball player, I guess in many ways fitting that it is against Syracuse for Joe Girard.
Yeah, and Hall's been off to a great start, but Girard has 3 assists already to go along with the 3 points, and the ball movement has been just crisp for Clemson. They've assisted on 5 of their first 6 made field goals on the game.
Schieffelin working on Taylor. Chase Hunter thought about it. And he's got 3 on the shot clock. Somebody's got to let it fly. They do, and Jack Clark beats the buzzer but can't get it to go.
I like that last possession out of the timeout with getting the ball in Judah Mintz, getting him to a spot where he's comfortable and confident. Chris Bell's another guy that could really get going and help this offense out right now.
Mintz and Bell almost missed connection there. Mintz has a real old school kind of game. I think like really dating myself, but Earl Monroe or somebody, just kind of showing the ball to everybody and then putting it in as Syracuse has back-to-back baskets to sort of stem that Clemson run.
And Reese, to your point about like good shots lead to allowing you to set up your defense. When you have poor shots and the way Clemson can rebound the basketball and have dominated the glass so far early in this game, it allows them to force you to get in your rotations at the defensive end. And you made the last 2 buckets. Now you get an opportunity to really establish your defense and how you want to play the position-wise.
Counting down the shot clock for Hall, and why not? That's a dozen for PJ.
Talking about position defense, how about position offense? If that guy's in that position, you're losing defensively.
Starling trying to hit his second 3 of the night. Hall had the rebound for a second. Schieffelin corrals it, and here come the Tigers. Up by 9. Chase Hunter. He's off, and
Schieffelin's going to get called for that one.
Ian Schieffelin called for giving Justin Taylor a little shove. That'll be his first.
I would say if you got 2 feet in the paint, you got to get him the ball. And he had 2 feet in the paint and they got pushed out a little bit. And then just watch the way that PJ Hall is able to get to that left shoulder and finish up over the top. And the way he utilizes his bounce with power to create that movement and momentum to go up and finish.
Hall has been perfect so far. Quadir Copeland has checked in for Syracuse. He had a big game against the Tigers in the first meeting with 13. He's had a few explosive nights. Versatile guy, excellent passer. Mintz off the curl. What a look from Mintz inside. I think he surprised Malik Brown. And Brown's got the excellent hands. He leads the ACC in steals, but maybe a little too much there, and he's called for the foul.
Mintz got caught in the air and left his feet and really had no other option. And usually, as you mentioned earlier, Brown's really good at corralling the ball and being able to finish. So you go up there.
Yeah, he was ready to rebound. Whoops.
He's like, okay, I went from a box out to a catch and then the miss. But Clemson's ability to dominate the glass, I think right now, it's a 9-3 advantage on the glass.
Chase Hunter's brother Dylan is into the game. PJ Hall has finally missed a shot. RJ Godfrey, number 10, is also checked in for the Tigers.
Pull him.
That's enough. You're shooting too much, young man. Copeland working on Hall. Under the basket, used the rim and couldn't get it. PJ with a rebound. Here comes Dylan Hunter.
Go back in the zone. They've played a little bit man-to-man. They've gone to the zone, shorter bench. The zone has been good at keeping out of foul trouble. Their rotation's been pretty good.
Jack Clark, no. PJ Hall, yes.
The problem with the zone is you got to be able to rebound out of it. And if you allow a baseline drive, everybody turns their back, you can crash. And a great job by PJ Hall to get into that position.
Syracuse has offset a lot of its rebounding woes by getting steals, which they've been great at. And it certainly helps when Quadir Copeland can come off the bench and knock down a three, his first points of the evening. Cuse back in that zone. You know, for years and years, obviously played it exclusively. Now the cross-court pass. Chase Hunter going to try it again, and there it is. The senior has a three ball, his first bucket.
They're just trading buckets right now, but great ball movement against the zone. They got it to the high post, kicked it out to strong side, and then over the top skip pass to a wide open shooter who was shot ready. But you're right. I mean, you go back to it, and you go back to it, though, with purpose. And I think that's what Red Autry has done here with incorporating more of that zone as the season's gone along.
I don't know who says the mid-range game is gone, but they haven't seen Judah Mintz.
You know, we say, is he a 3-level scorer? He's a 2.5-level scorer. I give him a half from beyond the arc.
He's going to get better at that, too,
yes.
I think, as he goes along. Shooting right around 30%. PJ Hall is just going off. He's got 16 of Clemson's 25.
PJ Hall is +2 over Syracuse as a team right now.
Think about that. Where the shots are coming from. Brown the kick out. Starling shakes Dylan Hunter, and J.J. Starling now has 7.
Much better flow to Syracuse offense so far after that initial timeout. They came out of that first timeout, and all of a sudden now they're starting to get better quality looks. But if they don't figure out how to stop number 24 at this end of the floor, they're going to struggle.
Hunter hit one. That was way long. Barely got the rim. Here comes Copeland. Syracuse down by 9. Copeland goes all the way to the bucket, and he draws the foul. Tremendous move by Quadir Copeland, and Clemson behind PJ Hall off to a great start.
He's played like a first-team all-conference. He's played like an All-American all season long. Why stop doing it now on senior night? Handle the emotion, channel them into seniors. The pride they take in being here, being part of a program, and this is across the country over this week. You're going to see nothing but a bunch of seniors. The tears, the emotion, they're real. Because the commitment and the sacrifice and the realization of your journey, no matter how large or small your role may be, to get to feel that.
What did John Wooden say to you right before you walked onto the floor for senior day at UCLA?
He called me over and said, "Sean, well done." 3 of the most important and powerful words that have ever been said to me. Because it was from Coach.
How cool was that?
I was the only senior. It was really Sean Farnham Day, which, you know me, I'm a very humble person who doesn't like a lot of attention.
Well, you believe most days are Sean Farnham Day, is that R.J. Godfrey?
I thought lunch by Smoking Pig was because of Farnham. It was because of Davis.
Well, what a kind thing from the people at Smoking Pig, and also the great Ben Winterroad, who is the SID here at Clemson, who let us know, hey, Smoking Pig's closed on Tuesday, but I believe I can help get you guys something if you'd like. And we were, yes, please.
That was some grade A lunch today.
Syracuse starting to eat a little bit too. Quadir Copeland into the game, and after that hot Clemson start, the Orange back to within 5. You know, since that loss that they suffered to the Tigers, they've won 5 out of 6. They've won 4 in a row. And
we talked about the top tournament resumes. A quad 1 victory in March matters, in particular on the road. Syracuse knows they have work to do still. Even with a win here tonight, they'd have some work to do to probably get in the NCAA tournament, but this would go a long way.
Men sort of settled for that last 3. Now here's Dylan Hunter. Schieffelin thought about it. Chauncey Wiggins, he doesn't think much because he is ready to shoot when he catches the ball and has a chance to be a really, really outstanding player, as a stretch 4 type guy.
One of the biggest keys so far in the game has been only 1 turnover for Clemson. You mentioned how, oh, look at that.
Look at, wait, are you kidding me? Judah Mintz. he's looking up at the people sitting on the front. Did you see that? Yes, we did. And all of a sudden, we got a 3-point game, and Judah can get it to a bucket.
Judah's attack. And that's one of the things that he does as well as any guard in the country. He can absorb contact. He knows how to utilize soft touch off the glass, and he gets to the free throw line about as frequent as anyone.
You know what, Sean, I mentioned when these two teams played the first time, Judah only shot 2 free throws. And you might think, hey, look, there are going to be games like that. The guy averages 6.5 free throw attempts per game. He's had double-figure free throw attempts 11 different times this year, and he makes his first year to complete the 3-point play. And the Surging Orange on a 9-0 run over the last 2-12, and they're back to within 2.
You know how aggressive you have to be to get to the free throw line that many times? And how many times your body hits the floor and you've got to get back up and do it all over again?
Chase Hunter stops the run. That was Clemson's first make after missing 5 consecutive field goal attempts, and it's back to a 4-point lead.
Little dribble handoff action, curl that action right into the paint and pull up at the logo. Little zone now from Clemson.
Tasting their own medicine. Clemson will do from time to time this year.
I worked on this at shoot around. They talked about being active within that zone. They are okay with having the center close all the way out to the corner.
Kyle Cuff has checked in for Syracuse now. Girard and P.J. Hall back for the Tigers. P.J. with 16. That's already one more than he had in the meeting in Syracuse. What a catch. Got it back. Hall will try it again, and he'll go to the free throw line and shoot a couple.
Those aren't hands. Those are vice grips.
He's a strong dude right here, but how about the fight?
And getting to the NCAA tournament.
As good as Syracuse has been, to put some perspective on what a good job Autry has done here, this is their first 20-win regular season, you know, not counting adding ACC and NCAA tournament wins, in 10 years. And
he's brought a good amount of energy and has started to carve out his own path of how he wants this program to look and how he wants it to feel. He's been a lot of change. And he said one of the things he focused on most since the start of the season and the growth that he had, he said he got more patient. He said I had to slow down and realize I don't have to give out all the information at once. How I'm delivering my message matters, and how my team takes in that information and is able to execute it on the floor is essential for their success.
And I should hasten to point out before I start getting texts from Sean McDonough, during that run where maybe they didn't reach 20 in the regular season, there is a Final Four trip and a couple of Sweet 16s in there too. So it's not as if they haven't been good. They certainly have.
You said McDonough. Do you want to add the other 75 play-by-play guys that work at ESPN that came from Newhouse?
Might as well. Kyle Cuff ducks down the 3, and Syracuse back to within 2.
Dave Pasch on line 1. I always feel added pressure when we do a Syracuse game because I know every single one of our play-by-play guys is watching.
And half of our executives. Schieffelin now has 5.
Boss called me up. Farnham, you want to do a Clemson-Syracuse game? Yes. Why? Every exec will be watching. I'm here, baby. With Reese, let's do it.
Judah Mintz will pull up. Girard has the rebound.
Good flow to this game. You know, Syracuse, as we mentioned, has responded, made it a 2-possession game. Clemson's still been able to execute the way they want to.
And P.J. Hall goes to work on Brown. Big size advantage there. Nice job by Brown, making him take the tough shot.
Just bodied him, walled up, and didn't bounce and give an inch when P.J. Hall dropped his shoulder into him.
Ooh, Mintz slipped on the floor. Hope he's okay. Good job just not to travel. Copeland with a nifty move, and he scooped it underneath Wiggins and scored.
Copeland has come off the bench, and he's been ready to go. He has all 9 points that Syracuse has off the bench of the game have come off the hands of 24.
And, you know, I'll tell you, we haven't heard from him. He's been on the bench for a while. Is Chris Bell, who over his last 8 games is like 33 of 62 from 3. But they've got a good group out there right now that has them with a chance to tie the game. Cuffs hit 1 3, and he stepped out of bounds. It'll be a turnover on the Orange.
That was a really good defensive possession by Syracuse on that last possession, and that was a settled look for Clemson. You know, I think when you watch film, I always go, how many are the grade A shots? So you can tell that they got the ball exactly where they wanted to and they got the shot they wanted. How many of them are good looks, where it's a good look? It's not a great one, but it's good. And then how many do you have that you force them into a one-pass jack or a contested look? And the more you get in that area, the more success your defense is going to have. Early, Clemson was really moving the ball well. That last possession, they did not.
Brown goes out there to chase down Chase Hunter. Now Hunter gets to the elbow. Hall this time spins right past Brown and scores.
Yeah, I love the variety of how he approaches every post-up that he has. You know, the previous possession, he took his time. That time, he felt and had awareness of where the defense was before the catch, which allowed him to spin and utilize that momentum to get that seam to finish.
You want to nitpick P.J. Hall's first half. He missed a free throw, or he'd have 20 already. Steal from Jack Clark working on Starling. And it'll be goaltending, and Clark will have the bucket.
Well, they're going to review it.
Now have a look. Let's see, Chris Bell pleading the Syracuse case. Now looking up for the video monitor. Let's see if it got to the backboard first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's easy. One ref was signaling, let's go. They'll go back and look at it the next stoppage of play.
If they do, it won't take long.
No, they'll look. That's a one-looker. Sometimes I wonder if the officials stare at the monitor more in reviews so that they get more on camera time.
Well, that's just you channeling your thoughts about how to work that out.
Well, I've tried to work on cameras in my contract, and it's been continually denied by the execs.
Let's see what we can do about it tonight.
They're like, less Farnham, the better.
Starling lines one up, rattles out. Schieffelin kept it alive, and Hall pulled it away. PJ has to take it himself. Ooh. Might as well just keep it. Good look, but Schieffelin couldn't handle it. Ian diving to the basket. And here goes Mintz by Clark off the window. Schieffelin just sacrificing his body, and Covington saying the ball hit the baseline. It'll stay with Syracuse.
Lack of depth. Kevin McCullough's missed some games. He's been back now, and their inability to win on the road is problematic. Because last time I checked, the Final Four is not inside Allen Fieldhouse this year.
It is not, and boy, did they put a whipping on Houston and Allen Fieldhouse. So
yes,
there might be some payback in mind when they.
You saw Houston last week. What'd you think?
Really tough defensively. L.J. Cryer can shoot it. Jamal Shedd's probably the only guy in the country who can miss 14 consecutive shots over 2 games and still dominate the game. I wonder about the injuries that are starting to mount up. They lost JoJo Tugler for the season, so Kelvin's going to have to do some things. Shot clock's getting late here. Schieffelin beats the shot clock and will go to the free throw line. But I think they've got a chance. I think with Cryer, it gives them maybe a little more explosive offense than you might have thought they had a little bit earlier in the season.
Defensively as elite as anybody. They're outstanding in second chance points.
Great rebounding team.
Which can manufacture and break up some of those scoring droughts. But to win a championship, they're going to have to make shots.
Yeah. You know, I did not realize this. One of the analytics guys keeps up with this. Houston leads the nation in 10-0 runs.
That's awesome.
How about that? Stat for everything. But you can see why, because they can just stifle you on defense.
Their defense, it's one of those things that's like, you know, the annoying kid that you knew in the 4th grade, that every time you were standing in line to go back into the classroom, the teacher had you line up in line, and he was the guy next to you going, Reese, Reese, Reese. That's their defense. You catch a ball, you turn around, they're staring at you. And like, why are you still here? I just ran off of 3 screens.
Ian Schieffelin, Sean, with 7.7 rebounds. He's the only player in the ACC to average 9.5 points, 9.5 boards, and 2 assists. He's well on his way to that.
He just continues to grab boards.
Yeah, there's number 8 on the rebound. Girard trying to turn the corner. Schieffelin, Brown in the air. Now Jack Clark. Clark shot it from 22 and shot it 24. There's number 24. Another turnover for Syracuse. Clemson's done a nice job taking away some of those late dishes. The 4th turnover of the half for the Orange.
Well, in particular, getting back in transition on the air ball. Those are opportunities where Syracuse could potentially run out.
Girard creating a little space. Copeland got a hand in there and took it away from him. The ACC leaders in steals, the Orange, get another one. Haven't gotten Chris Bell going. And still, Syracuse down just by 8. They dared Mintz to shoot the 3, and you said you'll take that. You'll take that as opposed to him getting in the paint.
I think you got to attack there. I mean, if you're not happy with it, then pull it back a little bit. Allow a screen, call for a screen to come up and try to get downhill.
One thing I will say, if Mintz hits a couple of those and Schieffelin tries to power it in, and Pat Driscoll is
going to get over
it. They'll come in, and Brian O'Connell saying no, that Chris Bell was last to touch it. What I was going to say about Mintz and shooting the 3 is I think you can't just turn it down every time as we take another look at this, because then if they have to come out, well, then you're in much better shape.
Yes. But I agree with you.
Yeah. Bell last to touch it. Clemson possession.
But I think you can get those 3s through rotation, through ball movement.
That's fair.
Instead of just catching at the top, dribbling a couple times and seeing that there's a gap and saying, let's go ahead and let it go.
95 seconds left in the half. We take a 30-second break right here from Clemson.
One of the things that you can look at, too, is Clemson has really limited the number of assists for Syracuse, which means they're forcing them to play one-on-one. And the more one-on-one you get your opponents to play, the better off it is.
P.J. Hall, what a half he has had. The lead is 10, and P.J. is now up to 21 in the first half. Nine of 12 from the floor. The high handoff, and finishing is Malik Brown.
Yeah, beautiful little screen in the center of the paint. I believe it was by Judah Mintz. They rolled Brown, and that's a play out of the timeout and execution, even though it's on the other possession. And get an easy look.
A much-needed field goal, snapping a drought of more than 4 minutes. Inside a minute to go here in the first half. Schieffelin has it deep, and they'll call Copeland for the foul on the floor, trying to handle the big, strong forward from Clemson.
And watch this on the screen. You're going to see. No, it's not Judah Mintz actually that set that screen.
It's Brown that set it and rolled.
Yeah. That was a great roll by Brown to the rim. And you just little center screen in that center of the paint, and then you just lob it up to the cup and let him go get it. Copeland's having a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
he's talking to the crowd. He's talking to the official. He's sitting on the bench, and he's still clapping.
He's had a really good first half. He was a big reason why Syracuse got back in this thing after the way Clemson started. And just before the half, the Tigers have pushed the lead back out to 10. Girard now with 5. And about a 14-second difference shot clock and game clock. We wind down the first half. See if the Orange can go in feeling good about something. Mintz spinning. And now Clemson can take the last shot of the first half, and it appears that's what they'll do.
You and I were talking at shoot around. You want to see points scored. You love baskets. You love teams that execute. This has been a very entertaining first half. Clemson is going to go to the locker room feeling very good about how patient they were and how they got almost everything they wanted, and that is emblematic of the first 20 minutes right there.
Chase Hunter with the dunk off the feed from Schieffelin, and he has his senior night moment, and the Tigers are up by a dozen. One thing that Clemson did a good job of, not turning the basketball over. Syracuse leads the ACC in steals. They only got 2 in the first half. Meanwhile, only 4 assists for the Orange. Quadir Copeland came off the bench, had a nice first half. Syracuse at one point got the game back to within 2 as Judah Mintz gets him off to a really good start, because Clemson finished that first half on a 12-2 run. Judah's got 9.
Moved him off ball, put him in a position where you know on the catch he's going to elevate and feel confident that he can score. Good possession coming out of halftime. Now it comes down to this thing. Can they sustain stops? How many stops can you string together here in the second half?
Hall off the mark with his first 3. Did a couple of those in the first half. Now the Orange trying to claw their way back within single digits. Man, it's nice and soft.
Back-to-back possessions, same exact location, different way of getting to that point on the floor.
Into double figures with 11. And as it turns out, they found a wide open Bill Covington Jr. Covington not ready for the pass because he's an official, not on scholarship with Clemson.
Good job by Judah Mintz, getting right there to the nail and elevating up over the top. May not have that touch from 3, but he certainly has it when he gets to that portion of the floor.
Hands up, Bill. J.J. Starling draws the foul, and J.J.'s grabbing his right foot. Girard picked up the foul. It's his first. And he's retying the shoe. Let's have a look at this. Joe just stepped on his foot. And JJ appears to be none the worse for the wear. Mop up the deck, shoes tied. And Starling will go to the free throw line.
You see a different level of aggressiveness, though, by Syracuse in the first 3 possessions here at the start of the second half. They're getting the ball where they want. They're forcing it to where they want it. And that'll allow them to shoot a better percentage here in the second half. But you've got to make these opportunities when you go to the free throw line.
And Starling, a 72% shooter, missed the first one. Had 7 points in that first half. With the first bucket of the game for the Orange. 1 of 2. 42-35. Oh, Girard was wide open, and Schieffelin, the former high school quarterback, couldn't quite pull the trigger on the pass. Chase Hunter for 3.
Well, I take 2 when you can get 3. Their ball movement has been really sensational tonight. Even in a missed opportunity where you could have had a wide open layup, they're patient enough. Girard curls off of it, finds Hunter on the outside. They go back to the zone on this possession.
There's Mintz in that spot, and a little too high for Brown. It'll be a turnover. That ball movement again for the Tigers.
9 assists in the first half, and you can see it gets swung multiple possessions, multiple sides of the floor, right? First side, second side, third side offense. If you shift the defense multiple times in a shot clock, you're probably going to end up with a high quality look.
18 field goals. They've assisted on 10 of them so far. There's the quick hands of the ACC's leader in steals. Malik Brown knocks it out of bounds. Brad Brownell was talking about that this morning, that in their first game, he said PJ and Schieffelin would get rebounds, and all of a sudden Brown would just pop it free for a moment, just kind of in awe of the great hands on display. He's averaging over 2 steals per game. Mintz is second in the ACC in steals. And Clemson's done a nice job for the first 22 minutes and 4 seconds in protecting basketball. There's an example right there. Brown knocked it free from Hall.
And that dislodge just changes the timing of the entire possession.
Now they're deep in the shot clock. Hall's going to have to let it fly from really deep. Got enough iron to reset the clock. Schieffelin fighting for it. It'll be a tie-up. And possession arrow is in Clemson's favor.
But it's a little thing, but it's important. And a great point that you brought up. When you can dislodge the ball from the offensive player who's either looking to reverse it, drive it, move it in a manner that is conducive to the offense, you disrupt the overall flow, because now the guy that you're passing to, the defense is recovered coming off the baseline screen. That option's no longer there. It forced that possession to be stagnant just by punching the ball away.
And there's a steal. Beautiful anticipation from Brown to get that pass. 3rd turnover. Now Mintz ducks inside Hall, and a little finger roll. Judah Mintz showing all of the creative tricks.
He was angry going to the break. He was mad. He was pulling on his jersey. He was looking at our cameras saying, don't come near me right now. He's got 6 really quick points here to start the second half.
Schieffelin's got Taylor buried and decides not to shoot it. Girard will.
He's one of those few players in college basketball. Look, he doesn't even see you. You can close out, you'd be right there in his face. He doesn't even recognize that you're there. And he doesn't need a lot of space to get his shot off.
You know, only J.J. Redick and Curtis Staples have made more three-pointers in ACC history than Joe Girard.
Pretty good list.
Starling lets it fly. Foot on the line. They're calling it a 2. They'll take a look at it to make sure. That's at the moment 10 for Starling. Red Autry, you saw him on the sideline. He's sort of trying to will his team to stay in the fight here. Schieffelin lines it up. 3-ball for Ian Schieffelin. He's now into double figures with 10 and on his way to a double-double with the way he works on the glass.
Trading buckets is not a recipe to come back in the second half on the road.
Lead is back to 12. The Orange turn it over. Here's Jack Clark. Not quite type of pass to get Hunter a step-in 3, so they'll take their time and run it. And Ian Schieffelin goes bowling his way into Chris Bell. Not far from where Dabo Sweeney has said it, who believes that Schieffelin would be a steals. Leads this game in steals, a game which features 2 guys atop the ACC in swipes, and Judah Mintz and Malik Brown.
Let me take you into Syracuse at the half. Guys, Clemson is 4 of 14 from 3. They are killing us in the paint. We cannot give up anything in the paint. To take away the paint, Clemson's 3 of 5 from beyond the arc.
Now back to the paint with Hall. And Schieffelin almost got that double-double, and PJ, yeah, not even going to argue with Pat Driscoll on that one. Ran in and got our friend Bill Rafferty, who's a little nickel dimer there. Kind of running in and having a collision. A couple on Hall, who probably worth noting with a 21-point first half. That is career high. Just kind of caught Brown with the hand, tried to pull back too late. His career high is 31, set back in January against Georgia Tech.
It was a double overtime game, though.
And a loss here. One of the things about Clemson this year, for all of the good wins and for the improvement, there have been a few losses mixed in that you kind of scratch your head and go, how did that happen? How that happens is Chris Bell shoots, and finally he's got a 3 going. I mentioned over an 8-game stretch, Sean, he's shooting well over 50%. Came into this game having hit 33 of his last 62 from beyond the arc.
And that's one of the first times he got a good look on that last possession. Again, Syracuse offense has been much better here to start the second half than it was for a majority of the first half. The ball movement is better. They've already doubled up the assists that they had in the first half. But it's this end of the floor they've got to sustain stops. You know, you get it underneath 10, you 14 minutes left to go. That's plenty of time. You got an eternity in college basketball. But by the time you get to the 10-minute mark in the next 4, can you get it down to 5? And then you can start to feel really comfortable.
They've scored 80 points or more in 6 of their last 8 games, so this is an explosive offensive team that can get points in bunches. Shot clock is getting deep. Clark, plenty of time, takes his time, and knocks down the 3. Jack Clark.
4 of 6 from beyond the arc here to start the second half from deep. You just mentioned Clark hadn't scored. He's done a lot of other things right. Coming off that piece with his grandfather, he might have heard you and said, okay, Reese, I got a 3 for you.
Syracuse, by the way, has hit all 6 of its field goal attempts here in the second half, and there's another one for Mintz.
One of the things Clemson's done a good job defensively doing is they have not allowed Judah Mintz to get to the free throw line. Only one free throw attempted so far in this game, but good ball movement here once again. Shot fake, Bell goes flying by, forces the long closeout from the secondary defensive player, and drills it.
Last foul, holding Joe Girard, was called on Mintz. It's his first, and good hands knocking it away, keeping P.J. Hall from having a dunk. Pretty sure it was Brown who got a hand on it first. No surprise there. Inside 14 minutes to play. Syracuse, final regular season game. One more win than Clemson in the ACC standings, both in the race for the 4th spot in the double bye in the upcoming ACC tournament. Syracuse's body of work as it pertains to the regular season will be done at the end of the night. No game this weekend.
Weird to have a bye on the final weekend.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to get it, but
give you a little extra time for that gauntlet in the ACC tournament. This Quadir Copeland in Syracuse remains scorching here in the second half. 7 for 7 from the floor, and it's a 7-point game.
Copeland remains extremely confident tonight. Like, he has played with such good energy off the bench.
Hunter working on Starling. Syracuse showing they understand this newfangled man-to-man defense as Clark goes in and scores again. Clark's got 5 quick points to put him up to 7 on the evening.
I'm surprised Copeland didn't let that go.
Never a bad time for a heat check for Quadir, but Quadir's been patient, taking good looks, and boy, and yeah, I thought maybe Clemson had gotten away with that. That was clearly a foul. And Girard's going to get hit with it. That's his second. Only the 3rd team foul for the Tigers. Brad Brownell, whose team has threatened to pull away numerous times, just haven't been able to do it. And P.J. Hall gets beat to the basket by Brown and has to foul Malik to keep him from scoring.
Brown's movement without the ball, whether it's a slip screen action in the half court from the top, or actually screening and just rolling to the rim, he can jab. He creates space with his movement. And excellent job on an out of bounds underneath to earn the trip to the free throw line.
No, it is worth noting that's 3 on P.J. Hall now. Brown makes the first. Don't forget, as soon as we're done, Super Tuesday presented by Progressive takes you to Allen Fieldhouse. Number 14 Kansas taking on Kansas State. The Jayhawks a little battered and bruised. Not really their customary run, still looking top 4 seed, one would think, in the NCAA tournament. Very capable, especially if they can get Kevin McCullough healthy.
We're talking about Hunter Dickinson, obviously in the inside. DeJuan Harris, one of the better lead guards in the country. The key for them is getting production consistently out of Johnny Furphy.
Chase Hunter passed up 3 the first time, probably got a better look that time, but couldn't get it to fall.
I mean, you're talking about a team that has no bench.
Yeah.
That's Kansas.
Not much of a margin for error.
They're 3rd in the country, I think, in minutes off the bench. I think Air Force and Tulane are the only 2 teams in front of them.
You think that's the thing that will end up costing them in the tournament?
I do. Because one off night by one of those guys in the starting lineup, all of a sudden now you get exposed a little bit. Well, talking about getting exposed, the interior of that defense starting to get softened a little bit. You mentioned foul trouble for Hall, and how much does that change as far as rotation, how they are able to defend? He goes to the bench and opens up things around the rim.
Girard answers, and Red Autry's seen that before and didn't like seeing it that time. Clemson needed a bucket. Girard now up to 11, and the lead is back to 8. If the Orange can continue this torrid second half shooting, hit 8 out of 9. Starling pulls up. Make it 8 or 10. Another rebound for Schieffelin, who's got a big double-double tonight. Girard loses Mintz, but Copeland's there to stop him. Copeland almost takes it away. Clemson fortunate to retain possession. Shot clock deep again. R.J. Godfrey. I think Brown lost a shoe, and Mike just bailed out Clemson on that position.
They said before potentially the Big East tournament, and then before the NCAA tournament, it's an oblique injury. Hopefully he's going to be okay. He's the best lead guard we have in college basketball this year, and without him, Marquette is an extremely different team.
And with him healthy, what's their ceiling?
I think their ceiling could be Final Four, given the right matchups. I mean, the way they play, Shaka Smart's got a bunch of guys that play his style and are much more him. And Kolek is the leader at both ends of the floor on that.
That was what is commonly referred to as a miscommunication that led to the 7th turnover of the game for Clemson. You had 2 guys in the corner, and they, rather than either of them catching it, knocked it out of bounds. P.J. Hall, who had that huge first half, hasn't scored in the second, on the bench right now with 3 fouls. Air offensive rebound for the Orange. Here's Mintz, who's had a great second half, leaves it with Brown, but he got fouled on the drive.
And he'll get to the free throw line. As I mentioned, he has not been there often tonight. And you talked about in the first half, he gets to the free throw line as frequent as any player in the country. Top 10 in free throws attempted and made on the season. And only 1 so far, so he'll get to the line for his second and third free throw. But the level of aggressiveness that we've seen from Syracuse to start the second half, they have an 8-2 advantage in points in the paint in the first 10 minutes. That's a complete flip of the script from what we saw in the first half.
That is the 255th free throw that Judah Mintz has shot this season. But as you pointed out, only the second tonight, and only went to the line twice in the first meeting. Have a chance to get his 10th point of the second half here. Seeing some fire for the sophomore from Fort Washington, Maryland. One of 2. Godfrey has the rebound. 7-point lead for the Tigers. Inside 10 to play here in Littlejohn. Reese Davis, Sean Farnham, glad to have you with us on an ACC Super Tuesday. 2 teams fighting, hoping to finish in the top 4 in the ACC standings. Syracuse with a chance to have its best conference winning percentage in a decade. How about a spinning inside bucket from Chauncey Wiggins? That's his first score of the night. He had a dozen on Saturday against Notre Dame, and Clemson back out to a 9-point edge. Mintz gets Schieffelin in the air, tried to draw the foul, didn't get the call, much to his chagrin. Wiggins driving again on Bell.
Same spot.
Spins back. This time couldn't go. Schieffelin with his 11th board, puts it up and in.
Man, he's always there. He's old, reliable.
12 and 11 tonight.
Because every time a shot goes up and you look in the paint, I don't care what end of the floor you're on, number 4 in white is standing there. He may not get the board, but his hands will touch the ball.
Finishing 3rd in the conference.
And again, we mentioned this off the top of the broadcast. A large part of that is because of their success in the non-conference and the resume that they were able to put together. I joked, last year it was the non-conference that kept them out of the NCAA tournament. They made such a strong turn this year on their schedule. There's a happy medium between what they did this year and what they did last year.
Quadir Copeland, another acrobatic shot. This time it won't go. Godfrey running ahead of the pack.
Travel.
His man in the air.
Oh, he got away with the travel.
Got away with the travel and instead drew the foul.
But you look at those standings, and I think, as you mentioned, Clemson's a lock to get in the NCAA tournament this year. And obviously a win tonight really helps that out. But start looking at Wake Forest a little bit. After back-to-back losses, they kind of took a lot of that shine off that win against Duke. And now they've got some work to do here in the final week of this regular season. And of course, that matchup with Clemson at Wake Forest this weekend.
And avoiding what would be a tough loss. They still have Georgia Tech, that also at home.
Now, Steve Forbes has done a great job with that team, though, and some transfers like Hunter Salas, Efton Reed. Those 2 guys from Gonzaga made a huge impact for the Demon Deacons.
You have Salas as newcomer of the year.
I do.
In the ACC. Here's Mintz. They need a bucket. Judah tried to give it to him. Instead, Malik Brown on the follow.
When you have a guard like Judah Mintz, if you're big, just crash. Follow him down the lane because everybody's going to go with him, right? He's the known on the scouting report. You have an awareness of where he is. There'll be space to get offensive rebounds.
Chase Hunter knew it. Another 3-ball for the senior, and the lead's up to 14, and Chase has 13. His final game in Littlejohn Coliseum.
6 of 9 from deep here in the second half.
Complete turn Saturday. That's what cost them. They were 5 of 28 against Notre Dame. They've had a couple of games like that. Had a 1-for-18 night in the game against Carolina here, the one they lost. But when they
final opportunity here so far, and I mentioned this towards the end of the first half. Syracuse had been great in first half of games and so efficient in their scoring that they needed to have a 60% type second half. They've done that. The bigger problem, though, for them is their opponent shot 67% from the field here in the second half. It has not been about the offensive struggles for Syracuse. It's been their inability to sustain stops, in particular from beyond the arc.
Chris Bell has hit only 1 3-pointer, which has been his strong suit, but got that short jumper to go. Hall looking for his first 2 of the second half, and he's got it.
And he checks right back in and goes right back to the block and just spins and finishes.
Mintz to Quadir Copeland, who scoops it up again.
And he's got 14 off the bench.
They have a couple of guys who are so crafty. Mintz moves sideways with the ball about as quickly as anyone I've seen this year, and Copeland just finds little crevices to get his shot up, and he has the quick hands to get the steal. Mintz now on the run, draws contact from Hunter, almost had a chance for the 3-point play, but Judah will go to the line where he probably has to pay property taxes over the course of the year.
It's kind of like us when we file our taxes. When we work in so many different states, you're like, okay, how many games do I do in that state? He's like, his ability to get there and his knack, and a great job by Copeland, though, at both ends of the floor. He gets the bucket, he's frustrated, he doesn't get a foul call, instead just goes down and gets a steal at the other end and throws it ahead to Judah Mintz.
Mintz has had some struggles at the free throw line tonight, though. Now just 2 of 4. Rolls in his 17th point of the night.
Now, P.J. Hall, as much time as he spent off, we saw him on that first possession. They got on the ball. I'd go right back to him here on this possession. Try to see if you can get him a touch.
Inside 6.5 to play. P.J. trying to discard. That's the second time we've seen Clemson handle the ball with 2 guys that close together and sort of treat it like it's slathered in baby oil and wrapped in rattlesnakes.
What?
Right out of bounds. Like you don't want to touch it.
Okay.
Can't handle it. And P.J. Hall, another rebound for the big fella.
Anything rattlesnake related, by the way, whether you put baby oil on it or not, I'm probably not going in, just so you know.
Me either. Do you know Andrea Carter has a pet snake?
Yes.
I told her I did not care to meet it. And Bill Covington reaching there. Like before, he calls the travel. He's telling Chase Hunter, you grabbed him. That's his 3rd, and that's what caused the travel. Not sure I'm with Bill on that one.
I'm going to disagree.
Yeah. I think that's one of those things that looked awkward. We think surely someone made him do that.
Chris Bell started his high school career at my alma mater, De La Salle High School in Concord, California, before going to Wasatch Academy. A tremendous talent at a very young age, and has dealt with the spotlight and the pressure, and I think his improvement over the year, and Coach Autry told us he's grown leaps and bounds defensively. Can he still get better? Yes, there's no doubt about it, but moving well without the ball, competing more at the defensive end of the floor. The ceiling's still high for him. Yeah. I don't think he's close to it yet.
He added 10 pounds of muscle in the offseason. Wait till he does that again. And just an elite shooter. Twice this year he's had games in which he's hit 8 3-balls. He always animated. Quadir Copeland.
My favorite thing about like the college kids now, they think everything can get reviewed. Like Copeland's going, we'll review that. That's not a foul. He's like, this isn't the NBA. There's no button to push on the sideline that says, hey, let's review it.
Quadir would have to settle for his 3rd foul, and his old teammate Joe Girard might just have a 4-point play.
Every single time Syracuse has made a little bit of a run, got it close. Clemson has come back with the answer.
That foul was on Cuff. And Girard completes the 4-point play, and Clemson's back up by 13. Joe has 15 against his former squad. Oh, gets it knocked out by P.J. Hall.
A lot of emotion on the floor. This spoon-fed, though. I mean, that's a... Well, Bell's got to look in front of him and realize the person that's standing right there. But that's a senior that's wanting to go out the right way.
For all the emotion in the building, they didn't stop Malik Brown from just going right to the bucket. Well, he's a good-looking sophomore, too. This Red Autry's got some talent.
Oh, they got some pieces now. And look, and how they played coming into this game. If you're looking at this, if you don't look at the entire resume and you're just looking like the last 6 games, you're looking at the Syracuse team, you're like, they're an NCAA tournament team. They looked the part. They got good guards.
Resume's going to hold them back, though, unless they can really do some damage in D.C.
Well, the fact they don't have another game before then, like they had to win this one and do some work. I don't know how much work you can do in the ACC outside of winning it.
It might be true for them, particularly, but it's been a successful season. Autry.
Oh, for sure.
And begging to differ because Schieffelin, going back to his old football days, it looked like there was a collision down in the corner. Trying to clean up a wet spot down in that corner. 8 on the shot clock. Not the most ideal spot from which to inbound the ball. Girard's having trouble doing it. To throw it all the way in the backcourt to Hunter, and shot clock's at 5. Chase Hunter, a great stop, and Schieffelin another rebound, and again he gets it tucked away, and Red Autry is incensed on the sideline, wanting a travel. Instead, there's been a foul call. That's 3 on Brown. He's just not going Syracuse's way. They're fighting hard.
And the emotion of the game, you can kind of feel it. The students that are literally less than 18 inches behind us right now. They're feeding off the emotion of the players, and Syracuse is trying to respond too. I mean, Schieffelin just does such a great job of carving out space. Now, did he get away with the travel? Potentially. But he is a load to box out. And you go back and you see this Clemson team, and then you see how they performed against opponents that aren't familiar with their system in their non-con. And you start thinking this is a team that could easily advance in the NCAA tournament.
Schieffelin has 14 and 12, and Mintz now has 19. Well, he's just been spectacular in the second half.
That is the 3rd jumper from the ACC logo that he's had in the second half.
Tough guarding Girard. Hall down to Schieffelin. Got a little bulk on Copeland. Can he get the shot up? He can, and he scores. Make it 16 and 12 for Ian Schieffelin.
Isn't it nice to throw it inside and have 2 guys that you think are going to probably finish at above a 60% clip in the paint?
Mintz, a little sideways spin on that 3 ball. And Syracuse might be on a last gasp. They desperately need a little spurt. Down 13 inside 4 minutes to go. Clemson trying to close the deal. Here's Hall. Took a little contact there, no call. PJ wanted the foul, didn't get it. There's Copeland. And let's see which way they go here on this hill. They'll talk it over and they'll call the block. The block call on Girard as Clemson trying to hold on to a 13-point lead. Quadir Copeland missed, and of course Schieffelin got the rebound, because who else would? Orange putting on some pressure in the backcourt. 10-second call. Now they're going to ask if did they get the timeout in time? Yeah. They get timeout before. Okay, 10-second violation. It'll be a turnover in Syracuse ball. Surprised him when they have full court pressure. That was the look of a man who was displeased with that turn of events as Brad Brownell was shaking his head right across the way from us. Hunter. It's right up on Chris Bell, which is a really good idea with the way he can shoot it. Copeland drives, and Clark swats it away. 4.7 on the shot clock.
Defending off the bounce has been an issue for Clemson at times, and so when you have issues defending the ball off the perimeter, you need great rotations and you need really good help side and awareness. They've done that for a large part of tonight's game.
Copeland's got to let it fly. He does. Just in time, beats the clock, and it's a 3-ball, and it's back to 10.
He's got 17 points off the bench. He has had himself a game.
This time they beat the pressure. Hall's by himself, and PJ, thank you very much.
If you're going to press, you beat the press by pressuring the press to score.
Copeland. Not this time. Chase Hunter running ahead of the defense.
The press worked really good that one time.
Catch running out and dunk. Huff hits another 3. It's his second of the night. Syracuse gets a quick timeout. 30-second break here as Syracuse trying to pull off the miracle and Clemson trying to finish with 16 and 15. This double-double, Girard and Hunter turned in 15 apiece. No trouble getting it in. Now Hunter.
Yeah, numbers if they want to use it, and they pull it out.
So remain impressed by Syracuse's ability to get deflections on the dribble. They even got one on Chase Hunter there. Copeland, that long wingspan, making it tough. Hunter trying to put the final touches on this one in the final 2 minutes, and it rolled out. So 11-point game, just under 2. Syracuse is going to score quickly. They've got a chance, and Cuff does his third 3, and it's back to an 8.
That was a rare zero-pass possession by Clemson that last time down the floor. There was 0 passes, and what have we said all night long? Great ball movement has created open shots. They're shifting the defense. After pulling it out of the press, they didn't do anything with it. That allowed Syracuse to lock in defensively and then come down and hit the 3-point shot with 1:41 left to go.
Clemson's got a couple of timeouts left here. Syracuse with just one in the final 1:41. And this was a celebratory crowd moments ago. It's a little bit of nerves here as you take a look at the lineup. Saturday, Big City Greens live animated NHL telecast with
love
Penguins
that,
and the Bruins. You love that?
Adventure cartoon animation series.
Absolutely.
And
ABC and ESPN
you watch the Sonic Blockbuster one there?
I will be in Cameron Indoor for the Sonic
I didn't
Blockbuster. College Game Day will be there in the morning, starting at 10 Eastern Time. NBA Saturday primetime, Celtics and Suns on ABC at 8:30 Eastern Time. And then UFC 299 World Bantamweight Championship between O'Malley and Vera. It's all coming your way on a great lineup on Saturday. A variety of platforms here. Clemson trying to get its 11th win in ACC play.
Can't run the inline. Obviously, the ball was inbounded, so you got to stay stagnant here. It makes things a little bit more difficult against this press.
Now they get it into the corner again, the worst place you can get it, but Girard got rid of it quickly. And Red Autry did not want him to foul Joseph Girard, and there's a really good reason for that. He shoots 95% from the free throw line. He's 98 of 103.
Well, P.J. Hall, I have no idea why he was throwing that ball backwards, by the way. He just dribbled once or twice, you're over the timeline, and it was almost a 10-second violation again.
That foul, by the way, was on Copeland. He's had a great night. It's his 4th. Rare time when he grew some iron. Now made 100 free throws on the season, 17 points tonight. Mintz creating space, stepping back. Girard has the rebound, and Clemson ought to be able to escape with a win. That's the Syracuse team that's fought him every step of the way.
First half, it was primarily done inside. Second half, it's been done with a three-point shot.
PJ's wanting the dunk down there. He was by himself for a moment. Brownell wanting everybody to spread out. Let Hunter go to work on Bell. Goes by him and lays it in. Mintz almost fell down. Here's Copeland. Cuff again. Schieffelin another rebound, and Clemson is going to get the win. The 16th rebound for Ian Schieffelin tonight.
Really impressive performance by this Clemson team on senior night, and the way that they performed and the precision in which they played with. And Judah Mintz is getting really close to getting a technical foul right now. Frustration. Syracuse wanted this one. They knew they needed this one. And that 4 seed, as you mentioned, Syracuse will go home. Clemson will have one more at Wake Forest coming up this weekend.
A lot of tiebreakers to be sorted out for that spot in the ACC, but adds an extra game to the plate. And after this loss and this missed opportunity, it might have been the case anyway, but now Syracuse has to win the ACC tournament.
It's really that simple. It's been a good year.
One would think, anyway. Mintz hesitating.
That was like a guy taking a PK. You know, like when they go in to take a PK in the World Cup and all of a sudden they stop right beforehand and then they kick. That was nifty.
Do you know what kind of strength, not only in your legs, but your core, to hold yourself like that, just still off that stride without traveling?
Look at me. Do you think I know that strength in my core?
Just
my
because,
legs?
well, me too, but just because we might not be able to do it doesn't mean we're not aware of it or can marvel at it. Mintz shooting for his 20th point tonight. And just 3 of 6 from the free throw line. I really enjoy watching him play. I'm not going to lie about that.
He's had a great close to this season.
Rolls it in, 20 points on the night.
More work to be done, obviously.
And Jack Clark. No trouble with the 10-second violation again. See if Girard tries to put the finishing touches on his old school. Instead, he'll be fouled.
Coach Autry said, did you listen to me?
Stop fouling, yeah.
He had said no foul, no foul. Why don't you play aggressive defense, but no foul? And just out in front of everybody at the midcourt line, you just giving them points at the free throw line.
Especially if you foul this guy. In his only season as a Clemson Tiger, in his final game in Littlejohn. A walk out with a 20-point night, maybe 21 if you can roll this one in. And now his crowd will pay tribute to a couple of their seniors, P.J. Hall, 3 of them actually, Chase Hunter, Jack Clark. And they'll leave tonight with a victory in their 21st of the season. A lot more basketball to be played for these guys in the ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament. And now Girard will get his walk-off moment. He finished with 21, Hall 25, Hunter 17, and Clark 7 points, but a complete floor game for the other senior. And Clemson's going to end up winning this one comfortably as they can dribble it out.
The Clemson Tigers wanted to regain some of that momentum that they lost. And it's not just about getting the 4 seed, it's about bouncing back from the loss against Notre Dame. When they make shots, they are extremely dangerous because you know what you're going to get on the interior. And when they're hitting threes, that margin starts to expand out a little bit more, and this is a team that could be a second weekend team in the NCAA tournament.
This has been fun tonight.